Hi guys, happy Tuesday evening. I'm now live. We're doing our first series of these live chats, and so I'm just waiting for Mary Louise to come on. I'm just seeing if everything's set up okay. Please. Oh, hello. There's Mary Louise has asked to come, so I'm going to say yes. Oh, here we go. Go live with Mr. First of all, I should say I'm not very experienced with these, so if you see anything like me upside down or anything going wrong, here she is, Mary Louise. She knows more about
Hi.
these things. Hi, how are you
Hi.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, you're a bit funky. You've got your bookcase. Is that your real bookcase, or is that one of those cool back screens?
It's real. It's real.
And it's at
It's
a
good,
sort of
isn't it?
angle. That's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's really and all the books are color coordinated.
I have noticed that. I have to put my glasses on. But yeah, that's really cool. Well, I've spent nearly all day. I thought doing one of these short live things would be really easy, and I spent all day trying to, as you know, trying to get it sorted, get the lighting right, get everything right. So,
You're in the swing of it. Your hair looks nice.
yeah. Do you know what? It's quite exciting. First time this month, I think I've actually put makeup on. Almost washed my hair,
Great.
and I've washed my hair, and it's quite
Oh.
exciting getting ready for something, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
So,
it is. It is. But yes, the benefits of lockdown, hey?
and you look nice wearing your Aspiga shirt.
I thought I'd just pop it on.
That's really cool
Yeah.
with that thing underneath. That's really cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. There are some
Interesting.
benefits. I think my hair's loving it. I think I'm only washing it once a week at the moment. So,
I know, it's funny that, isn't it? I don't know why. Why we don't have to wash our hair so much because we're at home, but I'm the same. It's weird.
yeah, exactly. So, we've got a few people joining. I think I need to put my glasses on.
Yes.
You're almost probably
There's
going to be my eyes.
Morag.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
there's
seeing
more.
Morag doing this, yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay.
Um,
So, positive progression journals. That sounds cool. Okay, so
what's your
we
good?
just were going to have a quick chat on this
Yeah.
Tuesday evening, weren't we, to talk
Yes. Well, obviously
kick-off.
you've got a very exciting sort of 10 days of lots of different Insta lives talking about sustainable living, and lots of experts coming on. But the idea of this one is for you to tell us about why, I suppose, why it's so important to Aspiga, sustainable fashion, why and why you're so passionate about it, and then you're going to share some of your tips as well. So I don't
Yes,
know if you want
exactly.
to
I've got
kick
my
off.
props sitting behind me.
Brilliant.
So, oh, my door's open. I'll shut the door. So yeah, so we just wanted to do this one as a bit of a practice, and also just like you said, to explain why I wanted to do these series. So
Yeah.
first of all, we have got some great people lined up, and it's really kind of everyone to have agreed. We've got, I think, 10. It's over a period of 10 days.
Yes.
Most at 6 o'clock, some at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow's 1 o'clock, so we'll introduce Victoria before we go. But yeah, I just wanted to come online because I think, yeah, as you said, why am I so passionate about the sustainability and the environment?
Yeah.
And I think when you said, why has there been a changing moment in your life? I think I'm a sort of massive animal lover and love the outdoors and the environment. And I think over the years, we've all realized that climate change is a real worry, and it's not just a joke. And people who get cross with Greta for, getting so cross about it. I'm so on her page. It is something we have to focus on and get cross about. And we all need to make these changes. And I think on top of that, more recently of David Attenborough's amazing documentary, Life on Our Planet, and all the things he's been saying we should be doing and how serious he is about it. And he's the one that's traveled the world and seen the world and seen what we're doing to the world. And also just from growing up in I guess, a mother who was post-war, and nothing ever got thrown out. Everything was considered purchase. More to do, I think, than with just the, more financially, most probably than to do with the environment. But when I look back on what we had as children and what we did, I think we got through like one black bin a month because everything was recycled. I mean, plastic bags washed up. Eggshells were used for slug bait, little, the films, those little black films, pieces that you had. She used to put seeds in those. I mean, nothing ever thrown out. If we threw things in our bin, she went through our bins before they went to the big bin and took things out. She molded soap together, and most things were hand washed. So I suppose I grew up in a sort of non-wasting environment. And I still get really upset when I go to people's houses and they put 4 things in a dishwasher. You know, every day they put a dishwasher on with like a pan in it, and I'm thinking a pan can be washed up, you know. So I think it's just a mixture of loads of different things. And obviously running a fashion brand, I've become conscious of the fact that fashion is one of the biggest you know, threats in terms of, well, one of, you know, like all industries, we've got to address things, which is why we're trying so hard to do.
Well, I think there's 2 things: Fashion's Dirty Secrets, that documentary, and obviously David Attenborough's as well has had sort of huge momentum, and then Greta, and then obviously now we're in this sort of lockdown situation. But just before we kick off, tell us about Aspiga and what sort of sustainable changes you've made over the years. I know it's always been core to the brand, but the reality is it's hard to run any kind of business 100% sustainable. But I know there's like lots of new fabrics coming in, and your packaging is really great. And so just a few things that you've done, you know.
Yeah, well, I won't go into too much detail because I think we can always do another one on that. But you're right. I mean, it wasn't, when I set up Aspiga, I was more setting up, I always wanted to set up a company that gave back a bit. But I wasn't really thinking about the environment so much. I was thinking more about helping, you know, the artisans we work with in Kenya, and giving and helping provide, you know, work for them and stuff, along with a product that I loved. But I think it's just become more apparent, you know, with everything we're doing for the environment. And so what we're trying to do is every single thing we do, we're trying to consider the impact of the planet. So as you said, all our materials, we've moved away from man-made materials. We won't do anything in polyester anymore. We're using, you know, we're spending our whole time researching the best materials we can use. I mean, listen, I'm not perfect and our business isn't perfect. It's really difficult to get it all right. So I'm not sitting here sort of saying we're doing it right, because we're not. We're just trying to make steps and learn and make changes. So we don't have huge funding to be able to go full steam ahead in this area. So everything is small steps. So we're going into, you know, but the viscose we're getting is sustainably sourced. So it's lens end viscose. You know, we're going down
the organic cotton. Yeah,
exactly. All our cottons, we've moved away from cotton, and that has a big cost implication. You know, it's like almost a third more. Well, it is a third more than buying normal cotton. So if you have a dress lined in cotton, then we have to pay so much more for the lining. But it's something that everyone in my business, including me, thinks is the right thing to do. And so and then down to the packaging, down to sea freight, down to everything. So we're looking at every little bit. It's written into our, you know, KPIs. We put it now in our team meetings on Mondays, you know. So we're really keen to be as sustainable as we can as a business. And, you know, each year we will be telling people what we've done in this year and what we're planning to do next year.
And that's really good. So in terms of your life, your habits over the last couple of years, so sort of on food and fashion and home, what changes have you made, or you could recommend that us to make, to sort of just make us all a bit more sustainable?
Yeah, well, I think everyone most probably knows most of it. And I was thinking, I've just taken the dog out for a walk in the dark, and I was running through what I was going to say. And I think actually what it is, we just need to set it, like we set it as our business, as a KPI. I think we all need to think of it like that in our personal lives and say, let's set it as a KPI, as a personal KPI. So you have to think about it through all aspects of your life. It's so easy to forget, but everything you do, so putting your wash on a colder wash, you know, recycling, what coffee capsules do you use? Are they compostable? You know, food waste in the kitchen. So every single thing we do, I think you just always have to have it back in your mind. What impact is this having on the planet? Is it necessary? You know, and I think, you know, like the other day, well, in between lockdowns, I took some printers to the tip. They were like 3 old printers. I couldn't get to work, and I got to the tip, and they wouldn't let me put them like a recycling place that they could go to a charity or whatever. They said I had to throw them into this landfill thing, and I just felt sick. So I sort of drove them home and put them on Facebook in the village, and people came out to try to fix them and to use them. And I think always think about, so David Attenborough has this sort of, I've got to put my gloss on, whatever they are, because I just don't want to get them wrong. So basically he says reduce, reuse and recycle. And I think it's reduce everything, you know, thinking that we need so much, like, do we really need half these things? And if we do need them, let's go to a responsible place that we can buy them from. So there's all these eco zero waste shops, which I love, and I've been doing them for a couple of years now, where you go and refill all your bleach and your shampoo really good, and stuff. Yeah, and if you don't have one close by, there's brilliant ones online now. We've just doing a partnership this month with a brand called And Keep. So everyone should look them up, because you can just buy everything that's sustainable through them. So my little list of some of the things that I've got here that I'll show through. So in the bedroom, I've got we used to sell these, we run out, the bamboo earbuds. And then these are recyclable cotton wool. You can see they're a bit dirty, but you put them in your wash.
Yeah, I use those.
Do you?
Yeah.
They're quite good because they're like a flannel. They've got quite good friction.
They just get the makeup off of that with just water. It's brilliant.
Yeah, so those are really good. And then obviously all my, I put all my shampoo and conditioner in the big bottles. Deodorant, it's just using all the less plastic. Deodorant, this is a nice little one that comes in a wooden cardboard wrapper. And then if you can't get to the zero waste shops, there's some really good, this one's called Ocean Saver, and you basically buy the thing. Even my 90-year-old mum has got these now. She's very excited about them. And
so what, they use them made from recycled plastic or something?
Well, yes, I think the plastic is eco. So yes, I think I think the actual plastic itself is made from recycled. But then you buy these pods that you can get online. So one is for multi-purpose, one's antibacterial, one is cleaner for the bathroom. They're all the different cleaners, and you pop the pod in and you shake it up. You put warm water to begin with, and then you fill it up. So every time you need a new one, you're just buying that. You're not buying more.
That's good. That's really good, isn't it?
That's nice.
That's much better.
Yeah. Then obviously we've all got all these things like, I love this. This is like my scouring, my pan. It's like, I think it's all made from cacao. So these are all kitchen things, but obviously this has got a removable head. My toothbrush, which I have to say I've got an electric one, but this is for traveling. It is difficult to do everything 100%.
No, I know. Electric toothbrushes are so good, aren't they?
I know. I just can't give up that, I'm afraid. Then obviously the soap, everyone knows that. I mean, why do we need those gel things with the big pump on? Soap is brilliant. Reducing cling film. We've got these Beeswax Wraps. Really,
those are great, aren't they? The Beeswax.
Really good. I'm waiting for more for my Christmas from my niece who makes them. And then, this is like parchment paper rather than, tin foil or cling film like the other thing.
Is tin foil bad? I didn't think tin foil was. I kind of thought. Would tin foil be okay? I don't use cling film, but I thought tin foil would be okay. Have I got that wrong?
Well, let's ask people. I don't think tin foil will be as good as parchment paper, because it's still got it does it.
Still got to chuck it away.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to get it. It won't recycle, will it? So I think I don't think it's good. Pencils. I write now every time with pencils, because I think we get through so many pens, and also always need to rub things out. So
that's a good idea. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, I got some really nice ones in Liberties, and when you have nice ones, I think you don't want to lose them. Coffee capsules.
Nespresso? Is Nespresso yay or nay?
No, because that's a bad one. When
they pick them all up. They come and they'll pick them up to recycle.
Yes, I think that's the better. Like that, I think. What is that? Is that my
dog? Sorry, my dog.
Don't worry. Someone called Yotam foil is recyclable aluminium. So there is.
So there is. Okay, I'm going to look at that. And coffee's good for the garden.
Coffee's good for the garden. And well done, Sarah. That's so true. So again, I think what I've written down here, along with reduce, reuse, and recycle, it's about. So I just saw this post the other day, which is really good. It's all about rethink your choices, reuse. Refuse single use. So in shops, say no to the plastic straw. Be really brave, reuse everything. Everything we get, we can reuse, can't we? Your daughter can wear your clothes, we can all do.
That's so true. Yeah.
Reduce consumption and repair. I think, remember our parents' generations? I mean, how many times do we repair things? I mean, it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. My mum's always was sewing up things. And
jumpers with holes in them.
Make do and mend. Absolutely.
I know. And I think that's coming back into fashion. People are now, are now doing more of knitting and sewing and stuff. Repair before you rebuy, that's the repair thing. Repurpose, be creative. Lots of people are great when they've got kids about being creative over things. But then finally, recycle is the last option. And I agree with that. I think there's lots of things we can do before, and the compost. So put the coffee on the garden. But I mean, Sarah, coffee on the garden is a good one, but not in an espresso tablet. You need to get the coffee out. So,
that might be a bit challenging.
Yeah, if you use a plunger. But there's some lovely, the Sendero, which is my coffee shop close to me, and they now sell compostable.
Do they? That's good.
And you get them from Amazon. They've got into Amazon. They've got into Selfridges.
Right.
They're in John Lewis. I mean, good on them. They're two amazing guys, and they've just got a second shop in Battersea. So you can do those ones, or you can buy this little metal one, which I struggle with a bit more. You put your own coffee in, and then you.
I hadn't seen those. But I suppose the reality is just get the coffee grains is probably going to be the most sustainable, isn't it? Just having the coffee grains and then
I agree.
in the garden. Actually,
yes, I do agree. The big.
Do we need an espresso or the capsules? But
yeah, and so all of the things that I've just mentioned are more kind of like what you can do, but there's like the bigger picture, isn't it? It's huge, which we could go on for hours and hours about. Moving to electric cars, LED lighting, planting a tree if you've got a garden, growing your own vegetables, offsetting your air miles. I mean, people who are watching this might think, she's a fine one to talk, because up to this year, I have been on quite a lot of plane journeys over the years, but, I made a commitment this year to offset all my air miles. And it's just thinking about all those things, I think.
I suppose also the situation we're in right now, it's enforced us to. We can't fly, we can't really travel, and people are generally at home starting to grow things and explore their sort of home, their garden. So there has been so much enforced change, I suppose, thanks to COVID.
Yeah, and I think lots of people
have,
as they said at the beginning, the planet has benefited from this, I think. And even after what we all saw with dolphins in Venice or wherever it was, I think it's just made us all realise that the little things you can do at home, the comforts that you, and all the material world that we maybe don't need as much.
No, that's right. So is there anything specific that you struggle personally to be sustainable?
I need, the things that I need right now, I would say the things I struggle with right now are, beauty. It is difficult. Like, I just bought these things. I just bought these trim things, and you forget, it's like this. I was saying, being mindful all the time. I forget. I get things like I bought Wren, which is a brilliant brand they've got great packaging, great stuff about the environment. But I bought Wren the other day, and it said spend so much and you get 20 or 15 or something free little trial things. And of course, when they arrived, I just thought, oh my God, I should be in hotel rooms. I try not to use those little, travel things. So I think it's really difficult on things like that. You just have to think about everything. But we've got Victoria tomorrow, who will be hopefully talking through some of the.
Brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. So Victoria's editor of Get the Gloss, which is a beauty wellness site, if anyone who doesn't know, and she's such an expert on. And I think the beauty industry, some of the brands are really making huge lengths in becoming sort of sustainable in terms of their packaging. There's all sorts of ingenious products out there. So let's talk about sustainable swaps. So what we can, like, everyday things that we can swap from, say, I don't know, a Colgate toothpaste to a sustainable. Is there anything? Have you got any ideas of what we can do that's easy to swap?
Well, I think easy things to swap. Well, all the things I've mentioned, I feel are easy. Like, it's just easy to buy these things. And okay, someone might say they're a little bit more expensive. And yes, for people who are on. Who are struggling financially, of course, some of these things might be more. But for the majority of us who aren't, it should be easy to make those swaps. I think around Christmas, we can all think about the swaps, absolutely. Like, making your own Christmas crackers. I know some of these things take time, but let's face it, this year we've all had quite a lot of time. Growing your own veg, again, if you've got the time, you've got the space. Those little things in the supermarket, going up and saying to the people in the supermarkets, you've got too much plastic in your. I'm often at the customer service thing complaining. I'm not sure they take much notice, but it's just saying no to single plastic. Taking your Swell bottle everywhere, taking your coffee cup everywhere.
That's
which I think
really good.
I think most people do that now, but I think it's just always remembering when you leave the door, like when you get in
It's
the car.
remembering.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the amount of my friends that still just buy water, I find it really, I actually find it personally quite offensive. Like people, I actually get quite upset. Like, why do you need to buy a bottle of water? That's just not planning. You do not need to go
Yeah.
into a petrol station and buy water. You just don't.
No,
It comes
just
from the tap.
no. My kids, they're all at uni now, but then their mates, they're all really good with their swell bottles,
Are
and
they?
also the little coffee cups that you can take in and get them filled up at press or wherever you go, so you don't have to. So I think that's a huge change that's happening. People are adopting, which is really positive. But also, you've got there's really good like for Christmas wrapping paper, because that's a massive issue, isn't it? The amount of rubbish that we create from all the wrapping paper. Aspiga, you've launched these really great little bags, haven't you?
Yeah, so we've got these sustainable material bags left over from waste, material that wasn't used that you can put your gift in, because wrapping paper you can't recycle. So again, our family for years have folded all the wrapping paper up and saved it in the back room.
Reused it, yes.
Yeah, but that's when you've got space. My teeny little place, you wouldn't be able to do that. But so not only can you buy our bags, but also you can make out of brown paper, just sustainable, and get nice string. But I've seen quite a few places now selling like quite cool material that has ties on it that you can reuse each year. Or your own material if you make clothes, your kids make clothes. So there's lots of alternatives now that you can do.
Well, obviously, Christmas is a time when so much stuff gets bought and consumed and chucked and all that.
Yes, and actually, exactly. And on that, make considered choices when you're buying Christmas presents. Buy from small businesses, sustainable businesses. Buy fair trade, eco products if you can. Buy things that will last.
Especially like obviously Black Friday is coming up and all that sort of huge discounting and consumer. It'd be interesting to see. I think there's a really positive move there. I think a lot of people want to support small businesses now, particularly this all really difficult, challenging time we're in. So, so is there anything else? Any other top tips, sustainable tips before we?
What have I written down here? Food waste is a massive one. So we've got Alexander Dudley coming on to talk about reducing food waste, which I was fascinated when I heard her talk to someone else. And it's things like, like I made some this morning, stewed apples that I went past and someone had left by their driveway to take some apples, and I took them. Oh yeah, buy local, just buy local.
Yeah.
But you don't always have to peel, potatoes. You don't have to peel apples. Lots of things. Cook your sweet potato with the skins on. It's better for you, but just reduce kitchen waste. Reduce throwing things away. Eat. I think again the lockdown taught us all to sort of use our leftovers in the fridge. Normally you think there's nothing in the fridge, I'll go out to dinner. Us spoiled people who live in towns and stuff. But actually there always is stuff you can make something, isn't there? So
absolutely. One of the influencers that I follow called Abby, she does this thing with potato peelings where she puts them in the oven and turns them into kind of crisps, and they look really yummy.
Oh good, yeah. And
it's a really clever idea. It does look really good. But obviously clean them and then you can like peel it and then pop it in the oven.
I love that. I love that.
There's lots of brilliant things you can do. So what's our schedule? So basically we've got Victoria Get the Gloss tomorrow at 1:00.
Yes, we've got Victoria at 1:00. So she's a beauty. She runs so hers will be mainly on beauty.
Gloss.
Yeah.
Beauty. And she's also good on wellness, and she's a yoga teacher. So general kind of like tips on lockdown sort of mindfulness as well, I think she's going to share. And then we've got on Thursday Armel Ferguson, who is a fashion influencer writer for Red Magazine. So she's sharing some fashion tips, I think. And then Friday,
and she really knows her sustainability. I follow her on Red, and she's always got great ideas. I mean, I'm just passionate about it. I'm not very, I'm not up with the latest thing. So she would be brilliant to watch. And then we've got Emma Sims Hilditch from she's a leading interior designer, and she is going to be talking about changes in the interior design industry and redecorating our house, things to think of sustainably, as well as sort of color trends this autumn and things like that. So, and then after her we've got Liz Earle and we've got Julia Bradby, but we'll talk about them, we'll introduce them. And we've got Kelly from the London Chatter, who's a really passionate sustainable influencer as well.
That's I think a week on Thursday, isn't it? So we've got. So you're gonna share it all on your stories, aren't you? The schedule, and I think it's already up there. So it's a busy week.
Yeah, so it's a really busy week. So thank you, Mary Louise, for interviewing and coming and asking questions
Good to
and
see
helping me make sure that I do it right and get it all set up.
you.
The only other thing is with Christmas is make sure your Christmas tree is sustainable. Maybe buy one that
Yes.
you can replant rather than one that, at Christmas you walk down the street and London and there's so many Christmas trees just thrown there, isn't there? It's difficult. A lot of
No.
these things are more difficult when you live in a town, I think, because you can plant
Yeah.
a tree and you can plant it in your garden in the country.
No, that's true. But I just bought like a little tiny one that's in a pot, so you can do that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. Has anyone got any other ideas that we can
And then
share? Or any questions you want to
someone
ask?
wants to buy my bookshelf.
Yeah. Oh, we've got.
How
She
do you
saves
save
the.
the planet as an influencer? Oh my goodness, that's a
She works
tall
with
order.
Aspiga, helping us save the planet. She promotes. It's difficult. All our industries are difficult, but I think the thing is, if we all just do little bits and help
Yeah.
promote, use our voice and help promote, then it all just helps.
It just builds the momentum, doesn't it? I also think as an influencer, you just like learning so much. Like our conversation right now, I've just learned some more things. I mean, definitely a change of attitude to try and be as sustainable as you possibly can. Like even the coffee, Nespresso, or those capsules. Really, we probably should just go back to the old school plungers.
Well, that's what's so interesting, isn't it? Everything
Yeah,
back in the old school days made more
yeah,
sense. Washing the nappies, not those, this, it's funny, isn't it, how the world
yeah.
moves on and then we sometimes need to take a step back.
I know, exactly. I remember like a few years ago bringing all the food home in the plastic. And my husband was like, Mary's, you've got so much plastic in here, you can't buy that. And
Yeah.
so it's just the supermarkets they are changing a bit, but really it's difficult to go to supermarkets and not consume a huge amount of plastic. Like
It really is.
blueberries, if you like blueberries, there's no other option. They come in plastic.
I know. Well, actually, that's the other thing about buying local and buying within season, which I think
Yeah.
Alex on, because a lot of things, we shouldn't necessarily be buying and flying in. Along with flowers, try to buy English-based flowers when you can. In the high
Yeah.
season, make sure they're not flown in from Kenya. I think it's just thinking all the time, and
I
that's why I'm
suppose
saying,
also farmers markets, shopping at farmers markets more than supermarkets. But then that's a challenge because they're always more expensive.
yeah.
Farmers markets are really quite, well, the one around here is for sure. But yeah, it's just sort of trying your hardest, isn't it, really?
Yes, I think they are more expensive, but I think for someone like me, I don't have kids. I'm not on the,
Yeah,
I'm not on that line of, so it's a choice that I make that, I choose to
yeah.
make and spend that little bit more.
But I
Um,
do think the food industry is a tricky one with the amount of plastic. It's really difficult.
I agree. And clothes.
Supermarket
Um, so
and
yeah,
clothes,
so
yeah.
any other questions? Anyone else got any ideas of how they are more sustainable, things that we haven't mentioned or that we should be mentioning or that we got wrong or we got right? Let's see,
Support our
who's that?
farmers.
Yes,
Yes.
support local, support our farmers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
buying season. Yeah.
Have your own chickens if you can, all that sort of palaver, or things that you need space, obviously. Okay, well then maybe we should wrap up, and I
Okay.
will speak tomorrow at whatever time it is. It's 6 o'clock
Yes.
1 o'clock with
One
Victoria.
o'clock with Victoria from Get the
Yeah,
Gloss. Yeah, brilliant.
perfect.
All right, have a
Okay,
nice evening. Thanks everyone for joining.
okay, bye.
Bye, bye.
Yeah, make my boys share bath water. Exactly, good one, Sarah.
Oh, that is a good one. That is a good one.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, I don't know how to stop it. Bye, Claude. Oh, thanks for listening, Claire. I don't know how to stop this thing now. How do I stop it? Oh. Gosh, I'm going to be on it all night. Oh, does anyone know how to stop this? Anyone who does lives, turn off commenting, turn off a... Click on the X. Okay, thanks, Ned. I'll be here all night. Click on the X. Oh.